Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Delia from Malaysia. I just passed the MRCOG Part 2 exam this July 2022. How did I pass? There was several key factors that was required on my side, on all students' side. I would recommend was what I did was I went through the guidelines first, the green top, the NICE, the TOGs, the SIPs, all based on RFA's schedule. They provide us with a schedule with the date, so sticking to the schedule was like something really important, and to make sure that I finished certain topics by that time was very crucial, and definitely a lot of push from Sidra ma'am and the entire RFA team, Dr. Safa, who constantly reminded us that okay, today's topic is so and so. So keeping in touch with the topics and going module wise was the main key factor. Secondly was going through the guidelines, every guideline for the topic. Like for example, if we are doing maternal collapse, many a times we try to look for charts, just shortcuts and all, but the importance of going through the guideline is very high, because when we go through the guideline, at least once at a glance, even the summary helps us really understand the entire topic further. So what I did was I went through the guidelines first, and then or if I already had notes, because I have been following Sidra ma'am from 2019, so I did have notes from lectures. So I'll just go through the notes real quick, my own notes real quick, and then I would go through the guideline, so and add on to my notes from the guideline, and then I would see the lecture, ma'am's lecture for that particular topic, like whether it was maternal medicine or whether it was antenatal or anything like that. So if I'm doing maternal collapse, then I'm gonna go through ma'am's lecture, and then whatever that ma'am says that is important, I would write that down and remember it. So then I would make sure that those 3 or 4 topics per day was covered. So what I did was, once I was back from work, I rested for a bit and then immediately started studying by 6 p.m. and I will go on until 12, sometimes 1. I tried my best to finish those topics. Yes, I agree, certain topics are really big, but I mean, we should be strict. At the end of the day, we should be strict with ourselves. If we were to say that, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, then tomorrow's topic would be late. Or if like I was really tired and I was unable to finish those topics at the same day, then the next day in the morning before work, I would get up at 5:30 and make sure that I do whatever that was pending on in the morning before I leave to work. After the guideline, my notes, the guidelines, and ma'am's lectures, and then I would do all the books. I would recommend doing all the books. RFA has a list of the books, and they also provide us with the soft copies, and they even have a schedule for it. But my way was I was going module wise, so I did all the books. I had a chart of all the modules on one side and all the books that were to be ticked off. So I did all the books for that module, and for example, if we're doing maternal medicine like for about 5 to 6 days, then I will need to finish those books at within that 5 to 6 days, because then is the next module already. So at least 2 rounds would be, I did 2 to 3 rounds, 2 rounds of all and 3 rounds for some of the books. So in the beginning, like after resting and we are really fresh, at that time we should I mean, I would recommend doing the guidelines and doing your notes, and definitely listen to ma'am's lecture, because that really like brings out the points from the guidelines and the notes that we would have thought, oh, this is not important, but then ma'am would be like, okay, this is important, this comes out, this is a recall, this comes out. So these kind of things that helps us, okay, this I got to remember. That's one of it. And then when we are already reaching 11 p.m. and we're already exhausted, then I used to do the questions. So I did all the books, and then I did past MRCOG and also strategy. So after settling all these aspects, then I go to sleep. So of course, not every day was a perfect flow. Of course, some topics really take a lot of time, but we have to plan it out by ourselves, like how like if you feel that you're going to take more time on a certain topic, then maybe do other smaller topics. What I used to do was like maybe one GTG or 2 GTGs and 2 nice, and the others would be smaller topics or topics that I'm already well versed with, but I need to go through it again. Repetition and practice is the main thing that makes the memory stick. There is no shortcut to it. There is quite not practical to just read the guideline one time, because sometimes when we do the questions and we don't remember, going back into your notes and of course going back into the guidelines, I've done it even at the end, towards the end of my study time, towards, I mean, close to the exam, I would still go back to the guideline to make sure, okay, yes, this is correct, this answer is correct, that answer is correct. So and why. So that's how we refine our memory. Repetition, repeat, and remember. Questions really help, but of course the main concepts have to be clear. So we have to go through the guideline, go through ma'am's lecture, make notes, our own notes with colors. I used to have so many color pens and so many highlights and pictures and everything, anything that helps you remember, and certain charts that are important, like the VTE charts, the SGA charts, certain pictures like the perineal muscles, all the hematomas, post-ventus, post vaginal deliveries. All those pictures were kept in a board in front of me. So it's like a stick board that I have, that I actually put it in front of me and I see it every day. So repeat. That's what I mean. How did the difficulties due to the tough routine? To be honest, I faced a lot of difficulties because I had just had my baby in March last year, and that was when I was attempting for the first time MRCOG part 2 for the first time, and it was very difficult to have a really small baby, and being a first time mother, and also cramming up studies, and of course babies need 2-hourly feeding and things like that. So it was exhausting mentally, emotionally, physically. That was the challenges I faced. But actually having Sidra ma'am there, I really can't thank you enough. I love you so much. She actually took the time to talk to me. I was telling her so many times, I used to tell her, ma'am, I don't know how I'm going to do this, ma'am, I don't know how I'm going to pass this. But she would always say, you know, Delia, the hard part is now when baby is smaller, but you will get through it. You have to find the time for yourself. And that's what I did. Unfortunately, because I really could not give 100% of myself the first time, I didn't get through by a very small margin of 2 points. But then Sidra ma'am was like, okay, now baby is bigger, the hard part's over. You can ask your husband to take over. You can ask someone else to take or step in for you right now, and you got to focus because you can do this. It's such a small margin, and this exam is possible. So ma'am really kept me going. I called her the day I got my results the last time, and I was like, ma'am, what am I going to do? I'm so demotivated. And she was like, no, the hard part is over. Baby's not going to be as hard to take care of as before. So you just got to get your priorities straight. And of course, all of you understand, all of us are doctors, having a balance between work and life was another difficult part of incorporating the studying. But what I can say is work is work. We all have to work. But based on your work time, try to limit leisure time for sports, for going out, for socializing. I even cut short my family outings, or towards the last 4 to 5 months, I literally was just work, home, and the only time I was resting was when I was sleeping, and I'll get back to my books. How RFA really helped me for to prepare for the exam enough with this difficult routine that we had. I mean, our commitment that we had was also the recorded sessions, the recorded talks, the summaries, and also all the Green Talk guidelines and nice summaries, and even the talk, especially the talk. I would listen to them on the way to work, so that even a few times for certain topics sometimes, or even like her live sessions, like if I'm doing a certain modules, then I would listen on the way to work, so that at that time, like, my mind is fresh because I just woken up, I'm not exhausted, and I'm not yet exhausted with work. So I would listen to ma'am's lectures. So I was literally eating, breathing, sleeping MRCOG almost 24/7, I would say. At work, if at all I was in OPD and there was I mean, if it's busy, then it's busy, but then I always keep my iPad in front of me, so I have like the Parsi MRCOG or the Strat OG questions, or any questions, even the books that I used to just keep in front of me. So in between patients, I would solve, because I realized that reading at work, the continuity gets disturbed. So it is easier to do questions and remember those points instead. So the sessions and study groups, how it actually helped me was the sessions really helped me. I completed all ma'am's sessions more than twice, or more than 3 times sometimes, because as much as we hate to admit it, our brain requires conditioning. Our brain requires repetition. So just listening to ma'am once, at the exam, we tend to doubt ourselves. So definitely ma'am sessions really help. I would recommend trying to attend her live sessions, because of course it is interactive. I unfortunately could not attend to so many live sessions, or at least not in full, because of the time difference, but then they always provided a recording up to the day that you are sitting for your exam. So I used to listen to the sessions, the recorded sessions. Like I said, if I was doing a certain module, then I'm going to finish the lectures for those, because ma'am highlights the important topics, number 1, and also she highlights the important points, which is required for the exam. And I definitely recommend RFA tutors, because of the level of commitment that they have to us. It's not just the online portal. It is, we have a WhatsApp group, we have a Telegram group. The mentors are always reachable, even if it's not study related. The first time I was attempting, I was like most of the time telling ma'am, I'm so exhausted, ma'am. Yeah, but you know, like, to keep us going. And also, like, we become a small family by ourselves, like keeping each other going, like preventing, I mean, if one person freaks out, then we're like, no, we can do this, let's do this, you know, and keeping each other accountable. Like every day we have either Strat OG question discussions. I do try to join them, but if I'm not able to at that particular time, then I would definitely go through those questions by myself, like just scroll down the chat before I sleep, or at any time that I get. Like I said, I was eating, breathing, sleeping, MRCOG. So the sessions really helped. Ma'am really highlights what's important. Ma'am repeats and repeats and repeats until we understand. She has a way of teaching a very boring guideline and makes it really interesting. She makes it easy to understand. So sometimes when I see the guideline and I'm like, okay, this is so tough, but then when ma'am explains it, then she makes it so easy. So that's how the sessions actually helped me. Instead of just blindly mugging things up, Sidra ma'am actually taught us how to understand the concept. She really clears the concept in the session. So I would recommend 100%, I would recommend RFA, because if it were not for ma'am's sessions and the mock exams, they prepare mock exam for us for every modules. They have talk SBAs for us for all the talk, all the years of the talks and all the editions of the talks. So doing all those questions and then reading the answers, and ma'am, like Sidra ma'am and Safa ma'am really hold us accountable for finishing the mock after every module. So we do that so we know where we stand, and also doing reading back the questions and seeing where we go wrong. There's always a revision day at the end of the schedule. So that really helped. My advice for the future aspirants, the future candidates of MRCOG Part 2, there is no shortcut. You can have the best books, you can attend the best courses, you can attend you can have the best teacher like Dr. Sidra, but at the end of the day it comes down to yourself. So I attempted this exam in 2 conditions, the first time and the second time, so I'm able to gauge what is required to pass for me. So like I said, I had a very my baby was really small when I first attempted, and I tried to do it all. I tried to be there for my child. I tried to after taking care of him, then go to studying, and my study time was maybe about 2 to 3 hours, and I was exhausted. But the second time that I attempted, I said, no, this is it. I have to do this, and I just put down everything, all the outings, all the leisure time, all the parties, movies, even going on dates with my husband, everything, even on weekends, even on weekdays. If on weekdays after work, like I said, I would study. On weekends, my husband would take my son out, and I would just be home. And it is frustrating, it is difficult, but it is worth it. MRCOG is not the kind of exam that the kind of exams that we used to sit for, that we can just scrape through. No, this exam requires our heart, our soul, everything. When I was sitting for the exam this time, I literally had to put down everything, including family time, time out with my friends, time for myself, even cooking, maintaining my household. No, everything was put on hold, and I just studied. So having a study buddy also really helps, because you really hold each other accountable. So I had a really good study buddy, and she's from India, and it's either she would hold me accountable or I'll hold her accountable. So we used to do questions together on Zoom. Of course, the time difference was a bit of a problem, but then we made it work. So we used to do finish books together, and then towards the end we used to do the recalls together. So having a study buddy also is really helpful, but not too many groups, not too many people in your study team, because then you would end up not doing anything because of everyone's time difference. So what I would advise is don't give up. MRCOG would be one of the toughest exams that we would ever sit for. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It is our concepts, it is how much that we put in, it is how much that we are able to remember at that particular time. And like I said, repeat, and practice. It is so important to repeat the guidelines, repeat your notes. There are most of my notes are actually already almost torn. So repeating the notes again and again, having flashcards is very important, like having all the important values, all the important charts, all the important tables. Ma'am highlights these things, so these things are very important. So these things should be in a flashcard. So if we have that flashcard, then towards the end we will have this last day, maybe ma'am gives us like a study topic that we're supposed, certain topics that we're supposed to revise on the last 15 days or so. This is when these charts come in. So revising, remembering, and at every question that you do, remembering and revising it. Don't keep it for the end. All the VTE charts, like if you come across a VTE question, go through the VTE table again. All right, so that's all. Thank you so much and good luck to you.